the Indo-Nepal border as of now, Aisha.
All right, Anshul, stay with us because what we want to do is essentially show our viewers where the worry districts are when it comes to this illegal immigration that's happening. Now, what we've done is we've plotted it on a map. You can see Uttar Pradesh, you can see Bihar, you can see Nepal. But our focus right now is on the border between Uttar Pradesh and Nepal because this is where there's infiltration happening of illegal immigrants. Now, essentially, these are the worry districts where you see, first, we're going to begin with Maharajganj. Then, essentially, you're heading over to this side where you're seeing essentially, this is another district that's been affected. This is Nagar. Then you move a little more to this side and you see Balrampur. That's another district that's been affected. And essentially, when you head a little more to this side, you see that Shravasti, this is another district that's been affected. And now we're going across to these areas. Now, this is Bahraich, you have Pilibhit, and you have Kairi as well. These are all along the Nepal border with Uttar Pradesh, and these are the areas where locals are again on alert because the crime rate has essentially increased. Now, I'm going to cross back over to my colleague Anshul Singh to get us more details on this. Now, Anshul, what I wanted to ask you in relation to the worry districts is, can you tell us more about the crime rate? Can you tell us more about the crimes that we are seeing happening in these districts, and tell us more about what the locals are saying?
So yes, when we hit the ground, we spoke to the locals over there, and the locals were absolutely concerned about the fact that the number of drug abusers that have risen in that entire district, that is absolutely shocking. Also, what we saw on ground, that the number of madrasas that were under construction, the number of mosques that were under construction in that entire area was absolutely high. And the surge in population that we saw, that has even been mentioned in the report. Also on the ground, we spoke to the locals who have been living in these districts for many years, many decades, and especially generations. They also said that over the past 2 to 3 years, the number of Muslims who have come out and resided in that border area, especially near the no man's land on either side of Indo-Nepal border, that has increased disproportionately, if I could say that. So yes, the locals on the ground are also very scared because the kind of things that is happening on the Indo-Nepal border is absolutely shocking. And not only drugs, but also anything from clothes, shoes, medicines, drugs, whatever, you name it, and that thing is being smuggled from India to Nepal and vice versa. Now, the people who are actually involved in this smuggling are the big shots with big connections. But yes, the people who actually smuggle goods from either side of the border, they belong from a very lower strata of the society, and hence they get for a route of approximately 1 to 2 kilometers that they have to travel, they get approximately 300 to 400 rupees for each and every travel that they make. So yes, this is becoming really lucrative for them to have a better sense in the society. So yes, they are also getting involved, especially people on either side of the border are getting involved, taking things on bicycles, taking things on motorcycles across the border, just a 2 kilometer route, and they're getting amount of 400 to 500 rupees, depending upon the kind of things that is being transported from either side of the border. So yes, a very worrisome situation, and the locals are also really very worried. They say that this could actually in turn affect them, because the businesses on either side is also getting affected because of the high amount of smuggling that is happening. Also, the counterfeit currency in that entire area, the locals are very wary of the fact that counterfeit currency, they could get in touch with the counterfeit currency and eventually bear a loss. So yes, the locals and the shopkeepers, especially on the ground, actually check each and every currency note that they get before taking it. Also, a very interesting fact that in the main town of Bahraich, the things that you cannot get in the main town of Bahraich, you can find in this very secluded town of Rupaidiha. So yes, for example, mobile phones, mobile covers, Chinese products that you do not find in the small town of Bahraich, you can find that in Rupaidiha. So yes, smuggling is a big menace as of now in this entire Indo-Nepal border or the U.P.-Nepal border, Aisha.
All right, Anshul and Arnama, thank you so much for joining us and bringing us those details for